Thank you very much, Minister. I'm excited about the work that we're doing with your ministry, and I think it's important that Google help people understand the importance of your language, and in particular the cultural legacy of Hangul. I can think of it as one of the key reasons why Korean digital technology has done so very well. It's because you're the only Asian society that has such a character set. That's why it's so important. I've heard that it's King Seong invented the language because he was concerned that so few Koreans could communicate, that there was a division between the upper class and the normal people. And this very clever king unified the country around one set of language and characters. A very important decision made in your history, and something which we benefit from today. To put it another way, he wanted to make it easier for people in Korea to be able to organize information 600 years ago and make it universally accessible and useful, just like Google today. The mission that led him to devise the Hangul characters clearly has not stopped. Just as King Seong wanted Koreans to be able to understand each other more easily, we want the world to understand Korea more easily through all sorts of mechanisms. We already, for example, have Google Translate, and if we could translate everything perfectly, it still doesn't mean that humanity should stop learning each other's languages. Languages matter a lot. And the reason we're making this grant to the National Hangul Museum is to promote the understanding of this, to construct a special section of the museum dedicated to educating children on the history and science behind Hangul, and to create a physical space in the museum, a virtual space online, something in the digital world, to help visitors to Korea and the people around the world who didn't know about it, right, who are interested in it, to learn one of the most intuitive alphabets in the world, right? Something which looks and sounds as you speak it. Pretty impressive. It's interesting that an alphabet system is both more and less than a language. The language that the king spoke is very different from the one that you all speak today, and yet the characters, the alphabet has remained. And it's surely core to Korean culture forever, I think. This is why we think that this museum furthers a goal that both Google and the Ministry of Culture agreed to pursue a few years ago, to share Korea's rich culture out to the world, right, in a really, really nice way. A lot has happened since we started this. I didn't even know when I started how important K-pop was. Today, K-pop is everywhere, and even I had to learn how to dance Gangnam Style. People are certainly watching Korean classic films on YouTube, and they're doing it globally. And the cultural legacies from the Museum of Korea are online for you and everyone in the world to see as part of the Google Art Project, of which we are particularly proud. So we'll be adding some great new content on traditional dress, traditional architecture, and the Korean film, of course, to the Cultural Institute as well. The Korean culture spans 5,000 years, 6,000 years, a long, long time. Google is very old. Google is 15 years old, right? So as a respectful but ambitious teenager, it's a pleasure for me to learn from both the richness of Korea's culture, but also to help share it with the rest of the world in ways that were just not possible when I was 15. I could not be more proud of this kind of a partnership with the country of Korea. I mean, don't forget, 90% of Korean music YouTube partners get their views from outside the country. Korea exports its culture everywhere. Right now, someone who never even thought about Korea is learning from the Korean videos to do something new and exciting for K-pop and in music and in Korean culture. It's fantastic. Even if we assume that only a few of them want to learn about Korea, that's an enormous opportunity because of the internet. Let's assume that just 1% of the Gangnam Style views led to people wanting to learn Hangul. That's 18 million people. More people than go to, for example, the New York Metropolitan Museum every year. That's how powerful this new medium is. Anyone who cares about Korea and Korean culture is going to learn it the best and most direct way through this country's largest and easiest museum to visit, the internet, with your content on it. Thank you so much, Mr. Minister.